Now let's get to the macros. India's goods trade deficit has narrowed to $21 billion in the month of June versus $23.8 billion in May. This was largely due to a fall in oil import data. How should we read and analyze this data? Latha joins in for more. Latha.
Well, actually, it's a very predictable and pedestrian set of numbers. The standout part is the export growth, which we thought was really going to about 38-40 billion a month, which is what it showed in May. Actually, it turns out to be a one-month wonder, and we are back to our 34-35 billion per month. So it's a 2.5% rise year-on-year for exports, about a 5% rise year-on-year for imports. The big reason, as you said, why the trade deficit has come down, the goods trade deficit, is because the oil import bill is remarkably lower. But this is, just 1 month you import more, so you import less in another month. It's about $4 billion less at 15 billion compared to nearly 20 billion that was the import bill in May. But, when the import amount is less, the export amount, we export about a third of what we get as imports of crude as, specialty products. So crude specialty products exports also fell because the total amount of crude imported fell, and therefore the deficit has actually declined. The engineering exports, electronics exports, and drugs and pharmaceuticals, these were the three guys which led from the front with very big export numbers, but all of them were not as good as May. May was a really wonderful month when it comes to exports. Imports, again, electronics, because a lot of what we import, we repackage and export. So electronics imports are very high. Oil, I already told you, is a big number, though, again, it's much less than May. Machinery has done extremely well in terms of imports, indicating that probably the Indian industry is well and kicking, accounting for a goodish bit of machinery exports. In services, again, nothing much to report. It's a 10% higher export bill and a 10% higher import bill. So the services surplus is about 13 billion. The overall deficit for the month, if you deduct the goods deficit from the services surplus, it's about $8 billion. Very par for the course. So nothing outstanding except that, the big rise in exports in May has not been repeated in June.
Right, Latha, thank you very much for that. So that's putting the trade data in some context there.